Hey guys, I'm glad to be back on here. I'll wait for you guys to log on. Welcome to another session of Ask Auntie Nella. Let a friend know that Auntie Nella's on live. Let a friend of a friend of a friend know that we on live and we back. I'm doing it today because I missed it yesterday. So I wanted to do it today. I wanted to make sure I get it in since I missed 2 Mondays. But I want to chat with you guys a little bit tonight about and I'll be looking down at my phone a little bit. I don't want you guys to think I'm not paying attention to you, but I am. But I'll be looking at my phone as well. I want to talk about didn't feel loved as a child. The reason why I wanted to chat about this topic is because I feel like if you don't get the love that you need as a child, you become an adult, but you are living in a child's world. Because you never got that opportunity to fulfill that need that you needed as a child. So you skip the step. You jump right into adulthood and miss that void in between. And so I just want to chat tonight so we can chat a little bit of how we can, create some connection and how you can move past that. Because I find that there's truly a lot of men, women that walk around in this world that are truly adults, but are still in a mindset of a kid. And I don't mean mentally in a mindset of a kid. I mean, they're still trying to find that love from mommy. They're still looking for that love from daddy. They're still looking for the love from mommy and daddy. And so that can hinder you as an adult. So we're going to chat a little bit and talk about some of those things. I'm going to pull up my live so I can see when you guys come on. When you guys come on, please, let me know that you're on. And say hi to me so I can say hi back. Give me here just a second here. I know I've been out of the loop a little bit because I haven't been on, but I miss you guys. I have to say I truly miss chatting with you guys and having a bunch of laughs and all that good stuff. Hey June, hey Mia, how are you guys? I hope you guys had a fabulous Valentine's Day, a fabulous V-Day. I'm over the weather in Minnesota. I'm so over the weather in Minnesota. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit more time to log on here. Again, for the new people that might be coming on live here. Tonight we're going to talk about not being loved as a child. Because like I said, I think, not being loved as a child kind of hinders you as an adult. And so sometimes what happens is you miss that opportunity from being loved as a child. And so that piece of it, you suppress it. And so you just live life like it's normal until you become an adult and something or some brick wall or something happens, triggers it. And then, you're wondering, why am I sitting up here sobbing? Why am I, so hurt? I don't understand it. Because a lot of times what happened, I don't care who you are. If you're an adult and you didn't get that love, you're going to continue to search for it. Whether you're searching for it in a man, whether you're searching for it in a woman, you're still, looking for whether you're, acting out, whether you're doing some things that you normally wouldn't do because you're looking for that love. You need to have that. It's necessary to have that love, from, and it often, some people get it a little, screwed up when they think, I need to truly have the love for my parents. We want to have that, but there's some parents that truly can't fulfill that need for whatever reason. Whatever reason why they can't fulfill that need, they truly can't fulfill it. And so at that point, as long as you get it addressed and you can work past it and move past it and get the love that you're looking for, then it allows you to become a better adult. It allows you to become a better mom. It allows you to become a better dad. Not to say because you didn't get it, you can't become a better mom. You can't become a good mom. You can't become a good dad. I'm not saying that, but when you miss that space in between and you're searching for it, it's difficult because you move into adulthood and you're still searching for the same love. So go ahead when you're jumping on here, say hi. So I'm going to read a question. I got a comment already on here. So it looks like Miss Portrait said, "Hi, Miss Portrait. How are you? I didn't feel love. I didn't feel love young. I was always abused, but I will discuss it with you sometime." You know, that's a difficult piece when you're not feeling love and you're feeling abused. It hinders you. It hinders your spirit. It hinders your life. Sometimes what happens is you either wind up in relationships that mirror exactly what you had as a child, or things that look the same. You don't know how to pick a great man. You don't know how to pick a great woman. And so what happens is you put yourself in a space that's unhealthy. And you're putting yourself in that space that's unhealthy simply because, sweetheart, you never were taught that, or you never were guided in the right direction. So I see a lot of young ladies out here that's doing a lot of things that's displeasing to their body, you know. And a lot of times I hear people say, you know what, there's nothing wrong with me if this is what I want to do. I just feel like when you're choosing to do things that are displeasing to your body, that's not healthy. What that sometimes can tell me is something's missing in your life. It's a void in your life. Not always, because there's people who do things to themselves and had a great family. But a lot of times what happens is when you're missing a lot of those connections from a child, I promise you it will play out in adulthood. It will play out in adulthood. And the reason why it'll play out in adulthood, simply because you never had the opportunity, you never had the time for someone to take you aside and work on you, for you to feel those missing links that you didn't get. You know, and as a kid, you don't know. You can't, stand up and say, I'm missing this. I want to make sure I get it before I, become an adult. You truly don't know. So what you're doing is you're in survival mode. You're in survival mode. You're just trying to survive. And that's the difficult piece. So what happens is once you get out of survival mode and you become an adult, then the next step to you is, you know what, I'm grown. I can choose to do what I want to do. But a lot of times what happens is because you didn't have the opportunity to go through life and work on all the steps you need to work on before you became an adult, you're an adult legally. But you're walking around in this world in a mindset of a child because you're still looking for that love that you would want from your parents. Whether it's mom, dad, anybody, you would want that same love. Hey, LaShawn. Hey, Riley. Hey, honey. So I would say, one of the things I want to say is sometimes we are quick to judge people. And sometimes we're quick to judge, I don't know why she's like that. I don't understand why she's doing that. She deserves better, and all that kind of stuff. I get that. Sometimes what we have to do as society, which we don't do, and sometimes that bothers me to the core. We will judge a person before we take time to sit back and just watch. Sit back and just listen. Sit back and just try to have a conversation with that person to understand where they came from. Sometimes when you have a conversation with a person and understand their background, I promise you, when you understand where they came from, that will make you understand why they may be choosing to do some of the things, why they may be choosing to say some of the things, why they may have so much anger. We as society have to learn to stop prejudging people. You have people who are prejudging people for all the wrong reasons. Or you have some people prejudging people because, well, my girlfriend didn't like them, so I'm not going to like them. I have a problem with them. And you sit down and talk to that person. Well, what did that person do to you? Well, she didn't really do nothing to me, but she did something to my homegirl, or she did something to my homeboy. Get a life. You need to learn how to deal with people, how people deal with you. If somebody never crossed you, if somebody never hurt you, then allow them the opportunity, because you never know. That person could be heaven sent. You never know. God could be sending them your way. You never ever know. One of the things I never do is I never shut down people. My daughter will be the first to say, Mom, everywhere we go, you just talk. That's who I am. I can't change who I am. I want people to feel welcome. I want people to feel happy. I want people to feel like, you know what? She not stuck up. She'll chat with me. I want somebody to feel like, you know what? That's one person I could sit down and have a conversation with and allow them to understand me and not prejudge me. Because I wouldn't want, if I'm struggling in life, I would not want somebody to prejudge me. Sometimes people do things because they're crying out for help. And if we're going to continue to walk around this world and judge people that's crying out for help, then nobody ever will get saved. Nobody ever will, get the opportunity to free themselves of the shackles. They won't ever get to that point. And I promise you, there are so many adults in this world today that's bonded from childhood issues that they can't move past, that it's holding them back. And I talk about this simply because it's special to me. I held myself back for years. I held myself back for years for things that happened to me. I fought so many people. I would fault my mom. I felt like my mom should have known or seen or, figured out what was going on. But I had to learn that at the end of the day, I can't fault my mom. At the end of the day, I have to let this go to make me a better me. If I don't let it go to make me a better me, then I'm allowing that person or persons to hold me and trap me into a space that's unhealthy for me. It took me a minute to get to that space. It took me a minute to have a conversation about it. It took me a minute to share, because my fear was people would judge me. My fear was people would be embarrassed by me. And so I held it in. I didn't share. I didn't say anything. That's the worst thing you can do as a person, is hold that in. So let's go a little bit. Let me read another comment. I'm going to stop here and read a comment. Confirmation, you're telling the truth. My ex judged me off the things his ex-wife done and ex-wife done to him. He said I'm never nothing, etc. I saw red and was about to react. A lot of time people will say things to you and people will do things to you because they want to push your buttons. What you have to learn to do is not allow people to push your buttons. Because I feel like when somebody push my button and I'm in a space where I'm angry, I'm not benefiting from it. I'm not benefiting from it, because what I feel when anger happens for me is wasted energy. It's wasted energy. Like I blow up, I'm mad, I'm huffing, I'm puffing. It's wasted energy for me. So I try to stay consistent. Now, what I will tell you is I'm human. No human being can sit here and say, I'm going to stay consistent, I'm going to stay level, I'm never going to be mad. If somebody tell you that, they're lying. Because you are human and you're going to go through human things. And so people will continue to judge you off of what other people have to say. People will continue to judge you basically because maybe it's something you said that they didn't like. But they weren't bold enough to come to you to ask for clarification, to maybe understand what you said. Because maybe something you said to them might have offended them, but maybe they didn't direct it to you, or maybe it wasn't for you. But that person just didn't want to come to you. So then what they say, I can't deal with her because, you know what, I don't like something she said. My response to a person that tells me that, well, did you go to them to understand what they said? Because maybe they didn't mean it that way. One thing I will tell you is, a lot of times when people send you emails and texts, that conversation could get lost. The translation could get lost. So you may mean something sweet pie innocent, but because it's delivered and you're reading it and how it's written, I may take it a different way. And so that's why I will always try to clarify where a person is coming from before I judge a situation. Because sometimes we can judge a situation and we can set ourselves up walking around disliking people for reasons that are untrue, when we just could have sit down, had a conversation, and figured out why. And so one of the things I want to say is, it's important as an adult. I can't tell you to go back to your childhood and expect for, things to change. What I will say is, if your mom or your dad is still living and there's an issue that you had, or you're not feeling like your mom didn't give you the things that you deserve in a sense of love, or didn't show you love, I'm going to say I would probably have a conversation with them. If you think that, today you can have a conversation with your parents or your parent and say, look, this is something I need to get past. I need to get past this. I need to have a conversation with you simply because I need to heal myself and I need to get it out. I need to let you know. Because a lot of times is, if you don't get it out, then you're holding yourself in silence. You don't realize you are. You're holding yourself in silence. And so if you can't get it out and have a conversation with them, or you feel like that conversation is not going to go the way you expect it to go, or it's gonna put you deeper into a situation than you already already are in, I would say journal. Start to journal. Start to write down information. Start to, almost write a letter like you're writing a letter to your mom, your dad, or the person that hurt you. One of the things I did is I couldn't confront the person who hurt me. So what I did is I chose to write a letter. And I chose to write a letter. My letter was addressed to that person to let them know, this is what you did to me in my life. This is how you hurt me in my life. But when I tell you that it opened up a whole different me, I mean to tell you it opened up a whole different me. That letter couldn't be given to the person that it needed to be given to. So what I did was I ripped it up. Because at that point, it did what I needed it to do. It allowed me to cleanse something that was holding me in the past to now to move forward and make my future brighter. And all you want to be able to do is you have to address. You have to address it. Whether you address it verbally, face to face, or you journal it. You have to address it, because if you don't address it and you think it's okay, I'm going to continue to suppress it, it won't help you. It's going to keep you in the darkness. You may think, you know what, I'm doing fine, I'm not worried about. No, you walking around in silence and you're hurt. You've silenced that hurt, but it's coming out in different ways. Whether you're angry because somebody dropped a spoon on the floor, or you're angry because somebody cut you off, or you're angry because the teacher told you your son didn't do great, and he's not performing on the level that he needs to perform on. It's gonna come out some way somehow. So you can't walk around and think, I'm gonna live in this world, and I'm just gonna leave it where it may, and I'm gonna be A-okay. Something's gonna trigger it, and something's gonna bring it up. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit because I think I might have missed some things. So let's see. Miss Portrait said, I know the feeling the same way. I'm still scared to talk about it. One of the things I'm gonna say to you, Miss Portrait, is I was one of those people who was afraid to talk about it. I was afraid to simply talk about it because I was afraid of people judging me. I was afraid of people labeling me. I was afraid of people not believing me. I was simply afraid just to get it out. And so that kind of, locked me into a space where, it just wasn't healthy for me. And so once I got to the space where I was able to get it out, then it made it much, much easier for me. It was a lighter load for me. So I'm going to say to you is, if you're afraid to confront the person or whoever it is, then journal it. Write it down, but you make sure you write that letter where that letter is directed to whoever it is that caused that hurt. You write that letter directly to them. And you could choose to mail it to them if it's something you don't want to have a face-to-face with. Or you could choose to do two things. You could choose to, write it. Once you write it, you read over it, that's everything you've addressed. Then what I say is either you rip it up, throw it away, it's gone, it's out your life. Or take and have a burning session and burn that letter. Because at the end of the day, you have to address it. Fear is going to trap you in a situation that's going to keep that situation suppressed. That's going to keep that situation allowing, even though you don't think it is, it's running your life. It's running your life. It's allowing you to be dysfunctional. And what I mean by that is, it could be little things that trigger, that makes you mad. It could be stuff that you may choose not to do because it's a memory of what may have happened in the past. You have to address it to move forward. There's no way around it. It's a big elephant in the room. You have to face that big elephant. And you know what? I'm either gonna, go around this elephant. I'm gonna walk over this elephant. But one thing I will tell you is I'm gonna get past this elephant. I don't care how I'm going to get past this elephant, what I'm going to do to get past this elephant, but I'm going to get past it. So you have to make sure you do that. And the healing is not for them. The healing at the end of the day, baby, is for you. And you have to work on you and make sure you get yourself past that. So I'm going to read another one from Miss Portrait. She said, I can't open up to nobody because I don't want what's been thrown back in my face. I am very sensitive. It's very sensitive to me because being abused mentally, physically, and sexually. I do portrait to ease my mind and to vent. I agree. But you have to find someone or somebody, or you need to journal it to get past it. Because all of the things you're telling me that have went on with you, that's some deep wounds, baby girl. That's some deep wound. And when you're dealing with those many deep wounds, you have to make sure you get it out. Because again, you can't get into a relationship and allow yourself to be in a healthy relationship because you got too many things that have went on in the past. You got too many things that you need to address. And you hear me talk a lot about working on you when you're single, and working on you and getting past some of that old baggage. This is a lot of baggage that you need to get past. And so you can't move on in a relationship simply because, and not a healthy relationship, because you haven't got rid of that baggage. You have to allow yourself to be healed and free it. Because if you don't allow yourself to be healed and free, then you won't get you will continue to live around here in silence and be hurt. You have to get to the point where, you know what? This healing is for me, baby. This healing is not for anybody else. I have to do this for me. If I do it for nobody else, I'm doing it for me. Because once you've decided that you're doing it for you, I promise you, you're not going to care what people say. You're not going to care what people think. You're not going to care that they're throwing it back in your face, because here's the thing. You didn't do it for them. You did it for you to heal you and be happy with you. Let me see if there's some more. So, Miss Portrait said he's deceased. Now, I just want to ask why. I will say this. My situation was exactly your situation. My situation was the person was deceased. And so I couldn't address that person. And so because I could not address that person, what I did was I wrote a letter to that person. I addressed all the ugly, the bad, the nasty, everything that came across my mind that I was suppressing. I addressed all that in that letter. And once I was finished, and I will tell you this, when I wrote it, I actually, the day after I wrote it, I was exhausted in a sense. I was exhausted because I think all of the anger that I had, I put into that letter. All of the madness that I had, I put into that letter. All of the hurt that I had, I put into that letter. So for me, it took a lot out of me to do it. Because this is years of stuff that I suppressed. I mean years of it. And so it took me a minute to go through it. The next day, I decided to open the book back up and read the letter. And I read that letter from top to bottom. I felt relieved, and I felt the change releasing off of me the second day I read the letter. The reason why I think I felt it is because the first day I put all my emotions in there. I needed to let them know everything that happened. I needed to let them know how I was hurt. I needed to let the pain, the struggles, how I'm dealing with life today. I needed to let them know that. Even though I know I'm not talking face to face to that person, I needed it to be known. But when I went back to read that letter spoke to me. Because finally, the young lady back then that didn't get the opportunity to express her feelings back then got the opportunity to do it today. And so it released a lot of me. It allowed me to release a lot, and I swear to you, I didn't look back after I did it. Let me speed up a little bit here. So it looks like, Melanie, yes, it's so true. Healing must take place. It has to take place at some point in your life. The reason why I'm going to end here just a little bit before we go to After Dark. I'm going to say this to somebody that may be listening on live or that may look at my live later. If you are struggling with something that happened to you in the past, you have to get past it. You have to allow yourself to get past it. It may be ugly. It may be dark. It may be hurtful. It may just take a lot out of you to get to it. You may get to the point where you're just crying uncontrollably because you're afraid to address it. But you have to address it. You have to allow all that ugly, that bad, that nasty, that funky stench that's sitting there. You have to allow yourself to get past it in order to create a healthy you, in order to create the best you that you can be. Because yes, you are an adult today, but you're walking around silently hurt. And this is why so much stuff is happening today, and kids are shooting up, people and doing all this crazy kind of stuff. And we wonder, why does kids have so much weight on them? Because a lot of times kids have so much stuff that have happened to them or happening to them, and they have no outlet. Find you an outlet. Find you somebody that you can talk to. Journal. Try and make sure you have an outlet. Get it out of your system. Figure out a way. Go to someone that, that's a doctor or, that you can talk to. Don't just live in this world and think it's okay that just because you've suppressed it, that it's A-okay. I will vouch for you. Suppressing will come back up. And when it comes back up, it comes back up even uglier than it went down. And so with that being said, I'm going to say, have an awesome night. Make sure you share. Let a friend know. Invite some friends. And I truly hope, you guys, at the end of the day, I hope if nothing happens with this video, I hope it helps someone to be able to understand that there's somebody out there that's willing to listen. I hope this helps somebody to know that you don't have to live in this world silent in pain. There's ways for you to get past that. You just have to be willing to take the first steps to get to where you need to go. So with that being said, have a blessed night, and we're going to move into Ask Auntie Nella for After Dark. And that session's going to be, we're going to talk a little bit about planning your sex sessions. So let's talk a little bit about that. Don't forget to share. Send me some love. Go ahead and send me some likes. And, if you guys have topics, feel free, to connect with topics. Connect with, me with topics. Send me some topics your way. I'm going to read one more comment right quick. And this is from Melanie. While I'm waiting for you guys to send me some love, I need to see those hearts come through. Another thing that helped me heal was the day I went to my molester's funeral. I was a grown woman, and I cried as if I was a child. It will help you heal, and that's a good thing to do as well, Melanie. I'm glad that you were able to get past that. And you know what, you guys, with that being said, I'm not going to hold you any longer. Share this video. Go ahead and come back for Ask Auntie Nella live after dark. Have a great night, you guys. Peace.